Around 600 years ago, long before modern factories and high-tech materials existed, the Dutch were already experimenting with early versions of the golf ball. These early balls were made by stuffing feathers tightly into small leather sacks, which were then sewn shut and shaped by hand. Known as featheries, these balls were surprisingly effective for their time but extremely expensive and time-consuming to produce. As the game of golf grew in popularity, so did the demand for better, more affordable balls. Over centuries, steady improvements in materials and manufacturing techniques transformed the golf ball into the highly engineered product we know today. In the modern era, the golf ball market generates around $550 million in annual sales, with more than 850 million golf balls manufactured and shipped worldwide every year. But how exactly are these small, dimpled spheres made? The process begins with the core, which is the heart of the golf ball and plays the biggest role in determining distance, speed, and overall performance. Most modern golf ball cores are made from a synthetic rubber called polybutadiene. This material is widely used because it offers excellent resilience, durability, and consistency. One of its most important properties is a high coefficient of restitution, which essentially means it can compress when struck by a golf club and then quickly return to its original shape. This rapid rebound transfers energy efficiently, resulting in higher ball speeds and longer shots. Polybutadiene itself is created through a chemical process known as polymerization. There are several types of polymerization, but the method used for golf ball cores is typically solution polymerization. In this process, small molecular units known as monomers chemically bond together to form long polymer chains. The result is a rubbery material with carefully controlled properties. Once the polybutadiene rubber is produced, manufacturers mix it with specific additives, curing agents, and fillers. These ingredients are adjusted depending on the desired compression, feel, and performance characteristics of the final golf ball. The mixed material is then heated and softened to make it easier to work with. At this stage, it has a thick, sticky consistency similar to cake batter. This softened rubber mixture is fed into a series of large calendaring rollers, usually made from steel or other highly durable materials. As the material passes through these rollers, it is flattened into uniform sheets with a controlled thickness. These sheets are critical because consistency at this stage ensures that every golf ball core behaves the same way during play. Once the sheets are formed, the next step is to cut or punch out cylindrical slugs from the rubber material. Specialized cutting or punching machines are used to create these slugs with precise dimensions and weight. Each slug will eventually become a single golf ball core, so accuracy is essential. After being cut, the slugs travel along a conveyor system to the compression molding area. At the compression molding machine, workers or automated systems place the rubber slugs into steel molds. When the mold closes, the bottom half presses upward into the top half, applying more than a ton of pressure. At the same time, heat is applied, usually around 160 degrees Celsius. This combination of heat and pressure causes the rubber to flow, fill the mold cavity, and take on a perfectly spherical shape. The cores remain in the mold for about 13 minutes, allowing the rubber to cure and harden fully. Once the molding process is complete, the cores are cooled using water to stabilize their shape and structure. After cooling, a worker places a piece of slotted plexiglass over the mold. This clever tool holds down excess rubber trimmings, while a vacuum system lifts out only the perfectly formed spherical cores. Any leftover material is collected and recycled for future use. While the cores are being made, the outer cover, also known as the casing, is produced separately. The casing material can vary depending on the type of golf ball being made. Many balls use a blend of ionomer resins, which are known for durability and resistance to cuts and scuffs. Higher-end golf balls often use urethane covers, which provide a softer feel and greater control around the greens. These materials are heated and formed into two hemispheres, commonly referred to as the top and bottom halves of the cover. Before assembly, the interior surface of the casing hemispheres is often treated with a special adhesive or primer. This treatment improves bonding between the core and the cover, ensuring the ball holds together under the extreme forces generated during impact. The core is placed into one hemisphere, and the second hemisphere is positioned on top. The two halves are then pressed together under high pressure, forming a secure bond around the core. Next, the partially assembled golf balls are placed into another compression mold. This mold is engraved with the final golf ball shape and a precise dimple pattern on its inner surface. Dimples are a crucial feature of the golf ball, as they dramatically improve aerodynamics. Without dimples, a smooth ball would experience far more air resistance and travel a much shorter distance. The dimples help reduce drag and create lift by controlling airflow around the ball during flight. Different brands and models use different dimple patterns, varying in size, depth, and number to achieve specific performance characteristics. Inside the compression mold, heat and pressure are applied once again. This step permanently shapes the cover around the core and imprints the dimple pattern onto the surface. After molding, the golf balls are removed and sent down the production line. They roll into collection bins, which funnel them into a golf ball elevator system that moves them to the next stage. At this point, the balls still have excess material around the seam where the two hemispheres were joined. This excess, known as flash, must be removed. An automatic milling machine trims away the flash with high precision, leaving a clean, seamless surface. After trimming, the balls are polished to ensure a smooth and consistent finish. This polishing step not only improves appearance but also ensures uniform aerodynamic performance. Quality control is a major part of golf ball manufacturing. The balls undergo a series of rigorous inspections to ensure they meet strict standards. These checks include measuring weight, diameter, compression, and overall symmetry. Visual inspections are also performed to detect any cosmetic imperfections. In many factories, robotic arms are used to test the balls by sending them through precisely sized openings. If a ball is not perfectly round or smooth, it will not pass through the opening and is automatically rejected. Only the balls that pass all quality checks move on to branding. A wheel guides the golf balls toward a stamping machine, where robotic arms use silicone pads to transfer ink from etched steel plates onto the ball's surface. This process applies the company logo, player number, and ball type with extreme accuracy. Once stamped, the ink is cured using ultraviolet light, which hardens it almost instantly. To protect the logos and improve durability, the balls are then coated with a thin layer of polyurethane. An automated spraying system applies this coating while the balls rotate on spindles, ensuring even coverage. This clear coat adds shine, protects against scuffs, and helps maintain consistent flight characteristics over time. The final step in production is drying. Robotic arms carry the coated golf balls to a drying rack, where they are heated at around 66 degrees Celsius for approximately 5 minutes. This process cures the outer coating and ensures it is fully set. Once dried, the golf balls are complete and ready for packaging. Finished golf balls are sorted, boxed, and prepared for shipment to retailers around the world. A single completed golf ball can have anywhere from 300 to 500 dimples, each one carefully engineered to influence how the ball moves through the air. From feather-filled leather pouches to precision-engineered multi-layered spheres, the golf ball has come a long way. Every shot taken on the course today is the result of centuries of innovation, chemistry, engineering, and meticulous manufacturing. If you enjoyed learning how golf balls are made, subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments what product you want to see next.